a sold-out event Saturday night, Manchester Arena. Firstly, I'd like to apologise that the opponent, Senchenko, has decided he doesn't want to do the face-off today and he won't come. So he's not turning up. So I'd like to apologise for that. No idea the reasoning behind it. The only explanation is I've had is he doesn't want to do the face-off. Also in the room, I'd just like to make a quick introduction to Mr. Paulie Malignaggi, the WBA welterweight champion, who's come across to watch the fight. So really, it's probably going to be a short and sweet one today. Before we start, I'd just like to personally say that the last 5 months, the transformation this fella at the side of me has made, and I've watched every step of it, maybe 4.5, 5 months, is absolutely, to be where we're sat today, is absolutely miraculous. And I think it's a lesson to anybody in life, not just sport, but in life, that if you're willing to make massive change, you can achieve massive things. And on Saturday night, I really believe Ricky's going to do that. So I just personally like to say, well done, pal. So really, all I'm going to do, I'm going to let Bob say a few words, if that's okay. Then Ricky will say a few words, and then we'll open up for questions. If anybody wants to ask Senchenko everything, we'll just hear the sound of silence today, I'm afraid. So I'll pass over to Bob for the thoughts on the fight and the event.
Yeah, well, like I say, we've been together now for 10 weeks. It's been an amazing 10 weeks. It's been a great journey for Ricky and myself. Like you say, you seen Ricky 6 months ago and he was nearly 15 stone. Before he came to me, he got rid of the weight. He did 3 months on his own. I mean, to do that is incredible, to lose that kind of weight. He came to me, like I say, 10 weeks, and we've been in training camp and we've done the runs, fell runs, the sparring, you know, everything we've done, and it's been an amazing journey for me. And I can honestly say, come 24th on Saturday night, it's going to be Ricky out at his best, and we're going to get the legend back. Like I say, it's a great journey and I'm so happy.
Okay, thanks Bob. And now I'll let Ricky himself say a few words about what he expects on Saturday night and how he's feeling today. Rick?
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. You know, as always, the sport has been phenomenal. You know, it never ceases to amaze me, you know. As I've said on numerous occasions, the support I have from my fans, you know, and you think, you know, the fans are used to take over to Vegas, you know, the last time I fought in Manchester City, Manchester Stadium, 58,000. Kosciuszko fight was sold out in 3 hours, this fight was sold out in 2 days. Makes me feel very humbled, and just the support, not just, you know, from press, from people on the street, you know, when you walk in the gym, just everyday people just letting on to you, saying, well, we're proud of you, Ricky, because I think there's a lot of people out there, you know, fight fans and public that have seen me, you know, round about the, you know, the 210 pound, 15 stone mark, bouncing around Manchester, you know, drunk as a skunk, you know, they must have looked at me in disbelief of, God, is that man we used to admire so much? Is that the man that used to take all them fans that won all them world titles? You know, I mean, I turned into a very sorry state, and my life went absolutely bang massively out of control. So I feel I've already won today without even throwing a punch at this top table. You know, 5 months ago, come back, you'd have laughed if I'd have mentioned it, but it's been a slow journey, you know, bit by bit. I've done it the correct way, I've brought my weight down in the correct day, I've got myself mentally prepared, and I don't want to go into too much of, you know, the personal stuff from the bottom rung of the ladder where I've been for all them years now. I'm here very clearly to talk about the fight because, you know, all that was yesterday. Present day, Ricky Hatton sat here, you know, is the meanest, most ferocious Ricky Hatton you've ever seen. I had a dream of becoming a world champion all them years ago. 7 years ago when I beat Kosciuszko in the Manchester Arena. You know, 7 years ago it was that day, and that was when I was at my hungriest, because I had a dream of becoming a world champion, like we all do. But the desire I have now in this fight is way beyond becoming a world champion. I feel like I'm redeeming myself. All them world titles have been for nothing for me. I'm here to right the wrongs of what I've done. I feel I've let a lot of people down in that space of time. And you watch me go Saturday night. I've really turned the clock back, and I don't expect you to believe it. You know, 34, all them tough fights, all them burning the candle at both ends, you know. There's no way with that second round defeat against Manny Pacquiao last time, it was brutal. No way can he come back the same. I won't come back the same, I'm going to come back better Saturday night, you watch. Thank you.
So what I'd like to do, if that's okay with everybody, could just open it up to the floor and you state your publication and obviously the question.
Rick, do you regard it as a weakness that the guy can't come and face you?
Couldn't give a shit if I'm honest. You know, it's, you know, I've, you know, seen my opponent, it would have been nice, you know, I think any boxer will tell you, it's nice when you know, you have a couple of days before the fight, you know, when you get the chance to see your opponent for the first time, his height, his side, how he's made the weight, you know, it would have been nice to see him, but I mean, I can wait till tomorrow, I'm not really bothered. I mean, with what I have had to do to get fit and to get in the position I'm in, sat at this table, I'm not bothered about waiting another 24 hours, to be honest with you. You know, it's really nothing to me. Don't know, you know, he might be playing a bit of mind games, you know, just, you know, who knows what it is. The main thing is I'm here, you know, to tell the story of how hard it's been to get here and what good shape I'm in, and he's going to be a good fight, you know, he's a former world champion. I think Richard, you know, was, you know, the whole team advised me, well, you don't need to go that much in the deep end for this first one back, just pick someone like a journeyman type, you know, and I just said to Richard, I said, how long have you known me? Stop it, Richard, you know, we're not going to fight for world titles if we fight, you know, run-of-the-mill. Well, and that's what it is, you know, I'm not going to say I'm the greatest fighter that's ever lived, I'm not going to say I'm the greatest British fighter that's ever lived, but I'll fight anybody, and that's why people love me, I think.
Anybody else?
Rick, do you mind asking me about the undercard? Because you've got a great undercard.
Yeah, the undercard's brilliant, you know, to be honest with you. You know, two WBA interim world titles, you know, Martin Murray against Navarro, you know, Scott Quigg versus Rendell Munro. Then we've got a British championship with Steve Foster Jr. and Gary Buckland, which you've seen them two fight, that can't help but be a sensational fight. Then we've got a European light middleweight title with Sergey Rabchenko fighting his mandatory challenger V2, Cedric V2, who likes to come and have a scrap as well. And with the lads on the undercard, you know, I mean, you know, Jazza Dickens, I think he's one for the, you know, for the future. Scott Jenkins, Adam Etches, Ashley Fairpain's on the bill. You know, it's you know, take me off the bill. You know, I mean, you've got any of them fights could stand alone as top of the bills in their own right, and we'll put it all in one night. So it's a real winner. You know, when I sit down at this top table, we're talking about my fight, my comeback, which obviously sort of like gets the headlines. But you know, you took me off the bill. That's one hell of a bill as well. It's one hell of a show, and I'm really, really proud of the job that my promotional team have done in putting the show together. It really is something.
Ricky, with the other fighters, when did you actually take a back roll, step back from actually training? Because obviously Senchenko's on the bill. And
last night. No, to be honest with you, you know, it's like me when, you know, when you get to, you know, you're 3 and 4 weeks out, the majority of your work is sparring, and me and Bob will be doing a lot of technique work on the pads, you know, working on, you know, tactics for the fight, and but ultimately, you know, as I was getting to my hard weeks, you know, say for instance Sergey, who I train, is on the same bill, he was getting to his hard weeks. So when I was sparring, then Sergey would spar. You know, I was doing my coaching from the ring apron as opposed to doing the groundwork in the gym on the pads and that. You know, but I have been doing, you know, a lot of pad work with Sergey because he's fighting a southpaw opponent, you know, who has a very specific style. So you have to have that pad work. I feel like your technique work on the pads is always your preparation. You know, it's like your dress rehearsal, isn't it, for the fight, your pad work. So you need that pads work. But, you know, whenever me and Bob have been having an easier day, I do a little bit of pads with my lads, you know, and then when obviously I was sparring, I had to take a back seat and let my assistant coach Mike Jackson take the reins. Believe it or not, I think it's made me a better fighter for this fight, to be honest with you, because, I mean, I tell my lads in the gym who I train and coach every day, you know, move your head before you go in, jab first, you know, feint before you go in, move your head after the combination, you know, and, you know, things that sometimes I forget in the past to do, you know what I mean? I've got to practice what I preach a little bit. There's no point me telling the lads in the morning to do this and then me not carrying it out in the evening. So I think you know, you see things differently from this side of the ropes as a coach. You know, the advice I'm passing on to my kids, I've got, you know, they've come to watch me in the evening and gone, hey Rick, what's all this moving your head after combination stuff? You know, I mean, it's been good. And I need to be, my time needs to be filled.